Good afternoon, everyone. I am Major Abhinandan Singh, a military veteran, and now I've cleared UPSC Civil Services for two times, 2022 and 2023. And this year I have been allotted the Indian Police Service. Now, for all the candidates who have written their mains, must be very anxious about the personality test. Obviously, it is a matter to be anxious about, but we can be well prepared about it, provided we know what is the requirement of a personality test. So today, based on my experiences, I've got 210 marks in the personality test last year, which happens to be one of the highest. So based on my experiences, today I will be sharing my views on what constitutes a personality, especially keeping into focus the UPSC personality test, which are just about to start in maybe a month and a half post the mains results are declared. So first, I would ask you to imagine yourself in the place of the interviewer. For any such situation, it is the best thing to do. So if you are the interviewer, what would you expect out of the candidates? Start thinking about it. And logically, the answers that you get out of it will help you to decide what is the course of action that you need to take in order to be best prepared for the personality test. So here we will try to identify and understand what are the various facets and what are the various pillars that go into the making of one's personality. Personality is not just about the interview. It is a broad reflection of the overall makeup that we have. It includes our dressing sense, which is a little on the peripheral side, but it includes the way we think, the way we walk, the way we dress up, and most importantly, the way we act. So the personality, when we talk about it, it is an amalgamation of everything. It is not a one-dimensional thing. So when we talk about the personality test, we have to take into consideration all these factors. We cannot just focus upon the one thing and neglect all the others. So through this, I am trying to tell you what are the various areas in which we need to focus upon so that by the time the interviews come up, you are absolutely ready and raring to go and perform well in the civil services personality test. Here I would like to add that personality test is actually, there are a lot of myths regarding it. We'll not focus on the myths specific, but it is more of a conversation. The aim of the personality test from the candidate's point of view should be that when you walk out of the interview panel must feel good about having spoken to you. So you must be good to talk to. This includes being a part of the personality. So I will just one by one, I will cover all these aspects that I have listed, and in some detail, we would like to discuss some of them. So first is the way you talk, the communication skills. This, I believe, is one of the most important, if not the most important. It is one of the most important facets of a personality as well as the personality test. Because right from the moment you step into the interview hall or the interview room, it is what you speak and with what amount of confidence and clarity that you speak that will define the final marks that you get in the interview. So the first major aspect of the personality includes your communication skills from the viewpoint of the personality test. So right now we can start focusing upon our communication skills as a matter of practice. Every day without miss, we can start practicing it 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, and even more. Read a lot of stuff and read it like the newsreaders do so that you get that command and clarity and control over your words and over your language. Because it is the only means, apart from the body language and the gestures and the eye contact, it is the only means through which you can interact and you can influence the way the interviewers and the panel perceives you. It is the most important thing. Other than that, let's keep imagining ourselves being in the interview hall as well. So right from the moment you walk in, so with the confidence and the grace with which you walk in, you should not look very nervous when you enter. You should look as a very confident man or a very confident young lady who is walking with confidence and with grace and very gracefully you have to ask their permission. So even the way you walk, the way you enter, and your overall body language and the confidence you exude, all this forms of part of the personality. And we do say that the first impression is the last impression. So it does count. Though in the personality test, even if you enter a little nervous, you can subsequently make up. But why to give even that 1% chance, and why to come across as nervous to the board? So when we talk about the personality, the communications and the body language also matters. And once you are sitting there on the chair and interacting very confidently, very politely, humbly, but at the same time thinking all the while. So once you are interacting with the board, you have to be very sure about your posture. You should sit very upright, and at the same time you should interact with them with proper eye contact. Eye contact tells us that the candidate is very, very confident. If you are shy, if you do not have confidence, then no matter what, you will not be able to have the eye contact with the panel or the chairman. And that will somehow give a bad impression, and overall marks will definitely suffer because of that. And one of the things I would like you to focus upon, that it is an overall personality judgment. You cannot fake there, because the people, the panelists there are having years of experience, 30, 40 years of administrative experience, and most of them would be close to their 60s. So you cannot fake it to them. You have to be very honest with them. So this is where the actual personality comes in. If you are actually honest in life, in the way you study, in the way you deal your normal routine affairs, if you are honest in that, if you have the integrity, then without any doubts, that is going to reflect in your answers and in the way you interact with your board members. So integrity and honesty, being a part of the personality, are a prerequisite. Because if we fake it under pressure, we are definitely going to suffer, and the overall marks get reflected. They do reflect the overall personality that we have. And one important issue which sometimes the candidates tend to overlook is the nervousness aspect. So initially, quite a few candidates are nervous, and because of that, they may feel a little jittery. They may not be able to speak that confidently. So right now is the time to focus upon that. But how do you overcome nervousness? So they say you overcome demons by facing them. So if you are nervous, the only way to overcome the nervousness is to start interacting. Use the platforms wherever you go, the classes where you have, just stand up and speak, stand up and ask questions. And even more than that, just take lectures. Request your schools, request wherever institutes you are in, that I want to take a class so that I can overcome nervousness. Because once you stand up and speak in front of the crowd, that nervousness over a period of time you will be able to overcome. But yes, you need to make a conscious effort in terms of that. So today we are discussing broadly all the aspects of personality, especially from the viewpoint of UPSC Civil Services interview. We have discussed about the overall dress up. Dress up, when we talk about, though it doesn't matter much, but broad guidelines are there that we should look decent. We should come across as a well-dressed young man or a young woman. So not very flashy colors, not very rogue hairstyles, very decent and very no, it can be anything that you like, but most important thing is it should be decent. It should not be very flashy or outrageous and come across as something noticeable to the board. Other than that, I don't believe that dressing sense will make a lot of thing, but the only criteria is it should be decent and you should look like an officer, dressed and prepared for the biggest day of your life. So that is about the dressing thing. So until now, we have been able to analyze that the personality test is about almost everything: the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we think, and the way we interact. Interaction is the most important thing from the viewpoint of interview. But all these aspects need to be taken into consideration. Now, these are the broad aspects, but point is, how do we build up that personality? For the candidates who are just about to appear for the interview very shortly, within the next 1 month or maybe 2 months, for them we still have sufficient time. Just be very honest with yourself that these are the areas in which I feel I am lacking. Start interacting with your parents, with your friends, and ask them what are the aspects of the personality that you think are lacking in you. And once They tell you that this is what you need to work upon. Start working upon it honestly, because an honest feedback mechanism will help you be prepared. Don't be shy that somebody will point out your mistakes, because mistakes, when acted upon, will help you to improve. And once you work on them, then I think sky is the limit. So, my best wishes to all the participants, all the candidates who are preparing and who have already written the mains. And I'm sure, and my best wishes that you qualify for the interview. And right now is the time to take the early advantage and be prepared well before the rest of the people even think of that. So if you start now, or I just hope that you have already started, so just be very confident, and I'm sure you are all going to do well in the personality test. That's all in this particular aspect. Thank you. Jai Hind.